set to do battle a third time. Their colors are separated by a shade of blue. Their history triumphant. Their images burned in our memory. Carolina had it on cruise control against North Carolina State, but fell out of sync against Maryland until they called on a man appropriately numbered 3. Duke's program is passed down from Coach K to the veterans to younger players, so the legacy is seamless. When yesterday's Clemson game got dicey, it was a freshman, William Avery, who saved the day. For those who have lived the rivalry and those who will maintain it, there is really only one goal. This is the Greensboro Coliseum, Championship Sunday in the ACC, and the rubber match between two great powers, North Carolina and Duke. The good news for everyone who wanted this matchup in the finals is that Antoine Jameson's groin pull has improved since yesterday, and he is ready to go. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Dick Vitale. It's great to have you with us. Of course, Antoine Jameson's status was up in the air. Vince Carter had the best line. He said if they tried to keep him out of the lineup, there would have been a fight.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike, great line, no doubt about it, but he just simply said, I am ready. Talking to him a little bit earlier, the bottom line is North Carolina and Duke. What a way to complete the season. They can't get any better, Mike, as they say. North Carolina won the first game. Duke took the second one, primarily because Elton Brand came back from that foot injury. They needed the big guy down the stretch. They were down big in the second half, but he would not allow them to lose. He wanted the ball on the interior. He gave them a power game, a post presence. The big freshman at Diaper Danny utilized his big body, and he wheeled and dealed in the lane. He was a monster off the offensive boards as well. Had 16 points in 14 minutes and was such a factor down the stretch. Played brilliantly, and his physical presence created all kinds of problems for North Carolina and trying to match up on the interior. He could be big here today. Terry Gannon was a terrific guard when he played at North Carolina State. He knows all about the pressure of the ACC tournament. Terry?
Mike, there's no question. It's a unique experience for a player. The kids on the same block getting back together to settle the issue one last time. And if you tried to list the great matchups in today's game, they wouldn't fit on a marquee. But come tournament time, you need guards to win. We've got two of the best point guards in the country going head-to-head. In the first meeting between the two schools, it was the quickness of Ed Cota against the defense of Steve Wojciechowski. If you see Cota penetrate, get into the lane many times today, or get out on the break, lead that Tar Heel fast break, give it up to Jameson running. It'll be a long afternoon for the Blue Devils, but they look to the eyes of Steve Wojciechowski to take it to a different level. Again yesterday against Clemson, he came up with the big plays, the emotion. He's the heart, soul, and guts of this team. He hit a big three. Two very different point guards going head-to-head in this game this afternoon. And, Mike, with the injury to Jamison, you don't know how effective he will be. Maybe that matchup becomes even more important.
Absolutely, Terry, and we'll keep an eye on it, as we know you will, too. For Carolina Blue, two paybacks so far have been sweet. One more would be intoxicating. For Duke, reality. Number one in the nation is nothing without being number one in your own backyard. Get it. You couldn't get one. Let's take a look at the Nike starting lineups for both ball clubs. First, for North Carolina, Shammond Williams was the MVP of this tournament a year ago. He's playing like he wants another one. 37 points in 2 games. In overtime yesterday, he took over in the win against Maryland. For Duke, Rashawn McLeod has been the Blue Devils' leading scorer in the tournament, 15.5 points a game, even though he hasn't shot the ball that well. If he gets hot, especially from the perimeter, look out. People have been waiting for this since they realized how powerful these clubs were at the beginning of the season. I know guys who have been drooling since November.
I'll tell you, Mike, I couldn't wait 8 days ago when we had that matchup, Rip Musburger and I, and that's Cameron Indoor Stadium. That place was on fire. Couldn't wait. We're counting the minutes, dreaming of this possible round 3. And as Chris Fowler has said, I know everybody here is hoping and praying for round 4 for the national championship.
That would be just tremendously special. Here's what happened during the regular season. North Carolina waxed Duke in the first meeting, beat them by 24. Antoine Jamison got the ball whenever and wherever he wanted it.
I'll tell you, he was such a dominant player in that game with the 35 big ones. He also was dominant early in the second meeting, and then in the last 10 minutes, I believe fatigue and the depth factor played such a big role in helping Duke get that W, because it was so hot. You and I have been there. That place was like, I'm telling you, Mike, about 100 degrees. I don't think now that becomes much a factor. We got air conditioning. We got a situation now where Bill Guthridge has to feel a little bit better than he did going to Duke.
Bill Guthridge going for his 30th win of the year. Just a tremendous job on his part. Mike Krzyzewski, of course, with another brilliant job at Duke. North Carolina controls the opening tip. Ed Cota against Steve Wojciechowski.
Well, as Terry Gannon said, this is a big matchup. Cota and Wojciechowski.
There's Jamison, blocked by Brand.
Brand's going to put that big body on him. The good news for North Carolina is there's no limp at all out of Jamison coming back up the floor. Shaman and Langdon. What matchups we have out here.
McLeod.
Okulaja, tough defensive player, matched up with the offensive arsenal of Rashawn McLeod.
Wojciechowski with 11 on the shot clock. McLeod, foul away from the ball. It's going to be on Langdon for setting an illegal screen.
Trajan got that look. Who, me? I mean, we're going to watch Brand right now trying to muscle up, use that big body against Antoine. There's that catch and release, but he's right there with the rejection. He's got long arms. Doesn't have that explosiveness yet, Brand.
But he makes the difference in the middle. Jamison is really going to have to work hard for anything he gets.
It's amazing. He's got a diaper dandy playing him. I mean, James, got away with one right there. Could have been a charge, Mike.
Langdon did a good job of trying to draw it. Cota can't penetrate.
It's a feeling out process, almost like a heavyweight championship.
Okulaja for three. He's really struggled with that long shot, and Brand clears the boards.
I tell you, he's not afraid to shoot it early. He made a big three in the overtime yesterday.
Langdon, it's a tough matchup for Shaman Williams defensively, but he missed on that one.
Well, the one thing Okulaja did yesterday had a double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds, so he plays on the other end. Nice pass by Jai.
Okulaja. Again, a lot of contact underneath and no call as Battier thought he had drawn a charge.
It is definitely like a heavyweight championship. Two Goliaths feeling each other out right now. A little bit playing in terms of conservative, making that extra pass.
And now the players are trying to adjust to the way the officials are going to call the game, and they ought to have it by now. They're going to let them play. McLeod for three. Jamison to Shaman Williams.
Got an open three right there, McLeod.
Shaman for three. Over the back support and out of bounds to Duke.
Rashawn McLeod's been such a star this year. He's a kid, his senior year has elevated his game to another level. He has become an all-ACC player. In fact, Duke's leading scorer in ACC action.
Fans getting a little anxious. They want to see the ball go in a hole here. We're almost to the 18-minute mark.
And look at the zone right now, North Carolina, trying to protect their players from fatigue. The zone allows you that.
Out of bounds off of Okulaja, and here comes Vince Carter. North Carolina, of course, with that six-man rotation, and the guy that sits out is the next man on the alphabetical list. Today's turn came to Carter.
Well, Bill Guthridge's feeling is I got 6 starters. I want to keep them all psychologically happy.
Trajan Langdon opens the scoring.
Can't allow him open. One of the great shooters in college basketball. In an area where kids today are not shooting well, this guy squares his body. He's got great touch.
Jai will try the three.
Well, one of their priorities today, Mike, in talking to the players and the coaches at Duke, is they're going to play off the post and not bother him at all. As you're going to watch Langdon now square his body, get that good release. The key is for you young people. Great rotation, squaring his shoulders to the rim.
Jai has made only 3 three-point field goals all season long. They'll let him have that shot all day. Brand trying to back in against a triple team. Wojo for three. Jai grabs the loose ball.
Jai does a great job getting inside position there. So they're going to try to give some help on Jamison. Play him three-quarters.
Shaman Williams inside the arc. It's 3-2 Blue Devils.
He's been doing that throughout his career. Last year's MVP of the ACC tournament, MVP of the regionals. There's that zone.
McLeod buried it.
Tough to zone. Really tough. You and I saw when Maryland tried to zone them up at College Park. They shoot too well. They got too many lethal weapons to step in that gap.
And they get the open shots because they move the ball so well against that zone.
I think there's two things you can't do against Duke. You can't trap and you can't zone. They shoot too well. You got to play head-to-head, good, tough man-to-man.
Well, 99% of the time, there's a third thing. You can't beat them.
I like that, Mike.
Maktar Jai. That's a nice little turnaround jump.
I'll tell you, if your fifth option starts to score for you, you can beat him.
5-4 Blue Devils.
Jai is starting to become a little bit more offensive-minded the second part of the season.
Brand, nice move underneath. And he's fouled by Jai, who gave him the obvious push.
I'll tell you, Maktar Jai has fouled out a number of games this year, 7 times. And in that second matchup, he went to the sideline with 10 minutes left in the game. And the whole game changed because they had no experience in the middle. Look at Brand. First of all, you can't give him the baseline. You can't allow him to make that kind of turn. No one rotated over to give Jai any help.
Elton Brand was averaging 16 points and 7 rebounds a game as a freshman. When he injured that foot, had to have surgery. And the medical staff did a tremendous job at Duke in being able to bring him back this year. Most people thought he was gone.
I thought that they should be rewarded as the MVPs for the Duke year. I mean, to get him back, what a psychological lift and what a presence.
Great pass from Jamison to Okalaja, the basket and the foul.
That's why North Carolina leads the nation in field goal percentage, 53%. Look at Jamison, what a leader he has become. Number 33 used to be such a shy kid, such a very introverted. Now he has stepped up verbally. There's the great pass. There's the pass. Adamola with the good catch.
8-6, Okalaja can make it a 1-point game. Jamison will get a breather, and he doesn't seem to be limping at all. Not favoring that groin injury.
I don't think there's any doubt he'll win the Naismith Award and the John Wooden Award as well.
There's a lane violation, and they'll take that point off the board. And 1 point in this game could be so precious. We had the same situation yesterday. 15:50 to go first half. Back after this. Duke with the early lead, 15:50 to go. The coaches were called to midcourt by the officials. Apparently, the word we get is that Coach K was concerned that North Carolina players had been talking to the players on the Duke bench as they went by. And, of course, Dick, we had a lot of that kind of woofing yesterday when North Carolina played Maryland. And I know you feel there's no part in the game for it.
Well, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Shammond Williams and company, they're too talented and too good. The great players in the past that have played here, the Worthies, the Phil Fords, they didn't do that. You got to play the game. In fact, Phil told me today. He said, hey, I don't know how you can talk and play. You just got to play. We're going to take a look at Elton Brand right here as he's going to get in post position. Freeze it right here. See how he locks here. Now he gets to the baseline, and he doesn't give any help. Rotate down, and he goes right to the goal. They're going to drop it in. Good baseline. See, Jamison did not rotate over and give Jai any help down inside.
McLeod right down the gut. Missed the shot, but Brand is there.
You know, without Brand, even though they were winning games, Mike, they were becoming perimeter-oriented, very similar to last year winning the ACC regular season. Now they have good balance inside-outside.
Okalaja worked himself free and then passed on the shot. Shammond Williams hangs at the baseline. Brand, another rebound. That's 3 so far.
I'll tell you, is he making himself really a factor early in this game? They got him. He's wide open. They missed him.
McLeod for 3.
McLeod said, forget about it. 3's better than 2. Why do I got to go inside? I'll just knock down the trifecta.
13-6 Duke. Only 3 teams in the last 12 years have won the regular season championship and gone on to win the tournament title.
Duke did.
It was Duke. 86 and 92.
92 won that national title. 86 with Johnny Dawkins. They got beat by Never Nervous Purvis Ellison in Louisville.
Okalaja for 3.
One thing about him, not Nashville, even though he came in here struggling from 3-point range.
13-9.
How bad was he struggling? He missed 22 of his last 23 threes coming into the tournament.
Langdon ready to shoot as soon as he came off the screen. Great block out, but nobody went for the ball, and Duke almost got it back.
Ed Cota with the ball, so magical. Will establish an all-time single-season record today as assist. He'll break Kenny Smith's record. Only needed 1 assist today to tie. 235 for a season.
Elijah. Bodies fly as Shammond Williams goes down, pushed by McLeod.
Yeah, they didn't call that. I thought McLeod knocked Shammond to the deck.
Shammond Williams had a toe on the line. It was a 2-point attempt. He walked and bumped into his own man.
Going to take a look at Rashawn McLeod on the perimeter. Such a versatile player from out of St. Anthony's in Jersey City. There he is with the 3, the trifecta. And on the other end, Adamola says, so what? I came here struggling. I can shoot it. From out of Germany. Remember Henrik Rodel? That's how they found him.
Chris Burgess has come in for Duke, as has William Avery. Jamison loves that lean in.
He's got that slide and glide. Player of the year, as far as I'm concerned. He's been brilliant all year long. He's been sensational.
Burgess against Jamison. Goes baseline. And then knocked out of bounds. Got some good defensive help.
Yeah, got some help, but he should have went right and jammed it. With his size and his explosiveness, Burgess should have taken it up and jammed it. I think ultimately he's going to become a special player at Duke. Not just a good player, Mike, a special player.
Burgess in the lane. Rashawn McLeod, I believe, picked up his second personal trying to get the rebound.
Yeah, that could be big now, but the one thing Duke has some depth. They'll bring in Battier for him. Mike Krzyzewski going to the bench. Transfer from out of St. John's. First transfer in the 18 years that Mike is on that sideline that he has taken. And St. John's, the Big East, by the way, Mike, we got to salute them. They had a great tournament with Connecticut winning.
If you're only going to take one, that's a pretty good one to start with.
Exactly, one that's going to become all ACC.
Yeah. 13-11. Duke with a 2-point lead. Great pass to Shammond Williams, but he walked, waiting for the bodies to fly by.
He anticipated the big guys rotating over. As you look at Bill Guthridge, has a chance to become the winningest first-year coach ever. 33 is the magical number. He has 30, and it was Bill Hodges of Indiana State.
Langdon can't hit the 3. Jamison with another rebound.
When he had the great Larry Bird.
Jamison from 16.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you, it could be his day when they start kissing him off the glass from 16, Mike.
Come on, Antoine. You got to smile after that one. 7 straight points for the Heels. Carrawell with a miss. Carrawell with a rebound, and he's fouled.
I'll tell you, he made a big play yesterday when they're on the ropes against a really, really talented Clemson team. I know those people, when they look at that draw, they're not going to want to get Clemson, baby. They are going to be a dangerous team in the postseason.
Same goes for Maryland.
Yeah, exactly. Both those clubs could absolutely emulate what Arizona did last year. 5th in the conference, yet won the national championship.
Carrawell hits the first free throw. He'll get another. Wojo will come back in, and Langdon will get a breather.
Can't wait for that selection showdown, Mike. So exciting, that moment when you see those teams posted. I know they're nervous today at Detroit and Illinois, Chicago, and at Ball State. Tell them to relax, though. They're going to get in.
With you, they shouldn't be nervous. You've already invited 95 teams.
No, I checked it. 102. 102. On a Dick Vitale tournament. Bring them all.
I believe you. Duke by 2. 12:37 to go first half. Jamison against Battier. Oh, what a move. What a move.
I mean, if that is not the 3S man, super scintillating and sensational, show me someone better in America than Mr. Jamison.
Steal by Elijah. Cota in the middle. Got it.
I think of a T.O., Mike. I think of a T.O. to run one of their runs.
I think Jamison is just fine today.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no limp at all. He looks better than yesterday.
Wojciechowski.
They excel in transition. If they're allowed to run up and down, you can't beat them.
Foul will go against Duke. I think it's Avery with a push.
I'll tell you, the biggest cheerleader, Roy Williams' son, Scott, on the sideline. What a cheerleader he is, the little guy. His daddy, one of the great coaches in America.
Antoine Jamison getting the job done, and North Carolina takes its first lead of the ball game. In a conference known for years for its competitiveness, tradition, and stars, these are the best of the best. The ACC first team. The most difficult first team in America to pick.
I'll tell you, think about the second club. Guys like Shammond Williams and Coda, as you see here, the top 5. But what about Nolan and Buckner? I mean, those kids can flat out play.
North Carolina with its first lead of the game, 17-15. Jamison got it partially blocked by Brand. Okalaja kept it alive. And Shammond threw it right to Avery.
North Carolina was 0 for 5 out of the gate, but they've made 8 of their last 10 shots.
Avery kicks it to Wojciechowski. Didn't want the shot.
You talk about courage. What about the courage of Avery against Clemson at the end of the game as Mr. Harrowell knocks down the perimeter shot?
Duke goes back on top. They've hit 3 3-pointers as a team.
Well, you know, great move by Bill Guthrie. Just the little things that coaches do. Get out of the zone, play man-to-man, because the zone, they were getting carved apart.
Maktar Jai. Harrowell with a rebound, but taken away by Jamison.
Jamison in for another big night after 29 in the 2 meetings. And 12 rebounds, has been unstoppable. They've had nobody to really stop him on the inside. Not many clubs have had.
Jamison has 8 points. Harrowell, 16-footer. Jamison with a loose ball.
You got to get back defensively in transition, and you better defend against their half-court game because they execute so well. See that? The great pass.
Oh, what a defensive play by Battier. Maktar Jai was set for the jam. Battier reached in and knocked it loose.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski says he's the best young player he's ever had defensively. As you look at Battier rotating over, he comes over. There's the slap. Played at Detroit Country Day, the same school that produced Chris Webber.
Normally, if you slap at a ball like that, it's an automatic foul, but he hit it so flush in the middle that there was no call.
He's got those long arms, and he's so versatile defensively, Mike. He can play people on the perimeter as well as on the baseline.
Shot clock does not recycle, of course. It's down to 10. And this will be a push on Avery. His second.
3 good guys blowing a whistle here today. Larry Rose, Frank Scagliotta, and Michael Wood. In fact, Scagliotta was just named the referee of the year by the Naismith people. Great honor.
Tremendous crew, isn't it?
Yes, really do a great job.
And an honor for them when they're chosen to do this game. Illegal screen against somebody for North Carolina. We'll check it. Maktar Jai picks up his second. That is always big for North Carolina because he's the one player who seems to get more foul trouble for the Heels than anyone.
Yeah, he really does get in foul trouble and leaves a little emptiness inside. However, Brendan Haywood stepped up big. The local kid here from out of Dudley High School in Greensboro played so effectively yesterday when he got a chance to play, the 7-footer.
Takes up some space at 265. He and Brand working on each other.
He's going to become a really, really special player with hard work over the summer, work on the weights, work on foot drills.
Brand and Wojciechowski with a little 2-man game. Langdon for 3. Brand with an offensive rebound, taken away, saved by Wojo. Stepped on the sideline.
Well, I got a little help right there. Mr. Scagliotta, the whole coaching staff for North Carolina made that call in terms of stepping on the line. There was no doubt about it. They were right on it. Ball going to the side. There's Wojo hustling. He's hustling on the sideline, and they're all going to jump a little feel for it. They all jump up.
19-18. North Carolina by a point.
So he tried to play off the post, but it doesn't matter. He's still got the inside.
One of the few that Jamison is ever going to miss from that range.
I thought that was all started by Dean Smith, though, that execution of their half-court game. Dean Smith was a master teaching them how to be unselfish. Look at the post inside. Good single reverse. Gets good position. Haywood trying to hustle down for the rebound.
Jamison got whacked in the head or on the jaw on that play. He was really moving his jaw coming down court. Brand up quickly. Haywood did a nice job getting the body on him.
Yeah, he laid his big body on him. Carter's been real quiet, and so has Langdon.
Cota, bothered by Wojciechowski.
They're playing each other right now. They're trying to eliminate that high pass, lob pass to Mr. Carter. That'll bring the house down with one of those dunks.
Jamison for three.
Vincent Carter's really been silent, like the All-ACC player.
And as you said, Langdon has struggled a little bit. He's 1 for 5. Wojo for three. Brand with another offensive rebound. Goes back up again.
Oh, what a great play.
It didn't go, but he'll get the foul.
What a great play. You talk about a warrior working on the glass. Mr. Brand, he doesn't do great elevation. He's not a skywalker. He's not a high riser. He does it with a big body. As you look at backdoor jive with his second sitting on the sideline. And there is Mr. Brand using that big, wide body.
Brand with 5 rebounds in the first 11 minutes and 20 seconds.
Coaching staff was telling me today they looked at film on him in December, and in December he had such a little bit more that explosiveness, the ability to really rise. His legs are still not giving him that bounce off the floor.
Missed them both. Mike Krzyzewski said at the start of the season, before the injury, he could finish being one of the best 2 or 3 players in the ACC by the end of the year.
So they're going to play it off Hayward. See how they're playing off him now, McLeod? He's going to drop inside to give help to Brand. See, he's not going to guard him. He's going to... There's Brand stepping in a lane.
Brand with the steal, trying to outdistance 3 players, and Cota got back to knock it away. McLeod got back to get in front of Hayward. No call.
What a great play by the big guy, showing some agility right there at 7 feet, Mike. Showing some unbelievable agility.
There aren't going to be many charges today, folks.
I mean, what intensity and emotion here. What a way to finish the regular season. Oh, it's unbelievable before we get on to the greatest sporting event of them all for 3 weeks. They're really getting after the rock here, baby. He's like a runaway freight train, Elton Brand. And now look at Brendan. Look at Brendan. He's 7 feet. He's making like the Magic Man.
You know, that was a good call the way McLeod moved into him. Look how he was still moving. It's either a no call or it's a block.
I'm really impressed the way the big guy handled himself in that situation. They're zoning now. I think the zone is a negative. I really believe the zone is a negative, but he's trying to rest some players now.
Carrawell, nice touch pass to McLeod for 3.
Can't zone them, Mike. Cannot zone them. Anybody watching, get your scouting reports out. If you're Prairie View and you get a shot to fly up, don't zone them. You know, Prairie View, what a great story. They didn't win a game 3 years ago. They won the SWAC. Their football team hasn't won a game since '89, and they're on cloud 9, and they should be because they're going to be in a big dance.
Battier picks up his first personal. 21 all.
The Georgia Dome, it's fixing to get ugly. Kentucky taking the Gamecocks behind the woodshed for the ACC Championship. Back to Greensboro.
21-21 here with 7:33 to go in the first half.
Take a look at Rashawn McLeod. Came up big. We're going to take a look right now at a situation. Watch how he's going to drift to the base. He's going to drift in this area here. And they're going to try to swing the ball and overload against the zone. Now they're going to rotate it out. Freeze it. Right here. See, right here he gets the shot. Defense slow rotating out. That baby's going right down there into that hole. No doubt about it. Did a great job of reversing the basketball against the zone, swing the ball. 2 things they do well and why they're difficult to zone. 1, they pass exceptionally well, and 2, they can step in that gap and shoot the rock. They have many lethal weapons.
Wojciechowski has really done a good job holding Cota down.
Well, the one thing about Cota, Mike, he's so unselfish. I think he's got to go to the basket more like he did in the second half against Maryland.
Yeah, but he hasn't even gotten any assists. Shammond Williams drains the 3.
Shammond just steps up once he squares his body. He and Langdon are such pure shooters, and they're guarding each other. Shammond really wants to show him, say, hey, I should have been all ACC, not you, big fella. He was upset he didn't make the first team. He's had a great year.
McLeod hangs in the lane, got it.
But he's had a great year as well. How do you keep off a guy like a McLeod? And my argument is, Mike, to the victor goes the spoils. They won the ACC by 2 games. He deserved to have 2 people on the All-ACC team.
Absolutely. Haywood gets it low. Wojo stepped in and took it from him. Wojciechowski, one of my favorite players of all time. He just showed so much guts, so much hustle.
Well, yesterday he was the guy at the end of that game that made it happen, hitting a big 3.
Carrawell for 3.
There's those weapons. They got so many from the perimeter, whether it's a McLeod, a Langdon, a Wojo, an Avery, a Carrawell. Elton Brand is their inside force.
Do we have any doubt this is going to go down to the last possession?
I'll tell you,
it's the way it ought to be.
It should be that way. Predicted most of the year by everyone. Number 1 and 2 in America. Certainly 2 of the top 4 all year long. Carrawell with a big 3. You know, yesterday, Wojo showed at the end of the game why he's a big-time college player. His hustle, his defensive ability, and I think, there's no doubt in my mind, he will become a college coach.
Plus, he hit the big shots.
He hit a big 3.
26-24, Duke by 2.
See how they're playing off Jai, they're not even guarding him. He's wide open up on top. Nobody even near him. See, now they rotate out.
And he walked. See, if you get Jai the ball out that far, he's really not sure what he needs to do with it.
Exactly, but they're doing a great job. What they're doing is they're playing off Jai to try and give help inside. See, right now, when we watch him, see right here, freeze it, freeze it. Look at Jai, wide open in this area here. Now they bring the ball, they'll rotate out, help and recover. See, give help inside, then recover.
Duke leads by 2, 5:50 to go first half. Battier goes baseline, undercut, made the bucket and the foul.
What a great job by Battier. There's a kid that's a special player. I have said across America, all the great coaches would love to have a Shane Battier because he's your typical consummate, just solid player in every phase of the game.
And it was a huge call because Maktar Jai picked up his 3rd personal foul.
And he better get off the floor. They'll slap a T on him quickly. Battier taking, it's been a story of Maktar's year, getting in foul trouble. He's fouled out of 7 games, and that's big right now because Haywood's got to step up.
Duke by 4. Battier can make it 5.
Both clubs are so capable of those spurts. Both clubs capable, as Clark Kellogg used to say, spurtability.
Avery checks in for Mike Krzyzewski. Wojo will get a breather. What tremendous, talented depth on this Duke team. It's unbelievable.
They're as deep as any team I've seen. The only one I could say that's matched it for depth was the Kentucky team that won the national title in '96.
Elijah with a runner.
I mean, that club was bringing guys off the bench like Ron Mercer, had 5 NBA first-rounders. I said that Rick Pitino's club that year and Duke's club this year could both be their 2nd clubs, top 20 in America.
Brand, nice kick out to Avery for 3. Kept alive by Battier.
Oh, look at this here. Don't tell me they're not playing for all the gold here. They know it's 2 out of 3. They want to stay here in Greensboro. They want the #1 seed here in the East.
Duke by 3. They have the ball. 5:09 to go in the half. Mike Patrick along with Dick Vitale and Terry Gannon. Glad you could join us for the championship game from the ACC. It is special every year, but oh boy, is this year even more so.
You know what I really respect about Mike Krzyzewski? He told me, he said, Dick, there's no kidding around. Obviously, that's a great advantage for us in North Carolina, playing here in Greensboro for a chance to go to the Final Four. So many times you hear coaches say, oh, we still got to win. He said flat out, to have our fans here, are you kidding me?
That's a tough shot by Carrawell.
Yes, it is. And it even more so when you talk, as we did yesterday, about North Carolina having more of the fans because they're so within the state, where Duke is a national school with its alumni.
Carrawell's come off the bench for 10 points.
Doesn't shock me. He's started many a game this year. He's really a starter. That's no sub, baby.
And Duke is on a 10-2 run. It's been a game that way. Carter, who had been very, very quiet, gets his bucket.
Finally gets on the board. See, I think Vince Carter should come back to school. I really think another year in school could help him immensely, even though he's certainly a solid player.
Carrawell's got that great crossover. And another bucket. Carrawell with a dozen.
He's playing like a star today, like Iturbe did. He was reminiscent of Iturbe yesterday, who stepped up big against Duke for Clemson.
5-point lead.
All these kids are so capable, Mike. Many of them high school All-Americans, 8 of them on a Duke team, McDonald's All-Americans. I used to hope I could get one when I coach. One.
Carter for 3. Great shot. He had not taken a shot in this game. Now he made one inside, then glides out for the 3.
Well, he shows why he's one of the Super 6, according to the NBA scouts, with Pierce, LaFrench, Jameson himself, Bibby, and Michael Olowokandi of Pacific.
Carrawell certainly isn't shy about jacking that thing up there, is he?
And Brendan, I'll tell you, Mr. Haywood gets up there on the boards.
Shamon Williams, nice dish to Haywood, the steal by Battier.
There's those quick hands again of Battier.
Well, I tell you, he knows how to play defense. Avery from 16. Elijah with a board.
What a great matchup. If this is not tournament flavor. Oh, you're getting a taste here, people, of what the NCAA tournament's going to be about. And there's the man, the 3M man. He's magical, he's magnificent, he's marvelous. He's America's best, Antoine Jameson.
He gets the ball, and it's gone in a heartbeat. And 90% of the time from that angle, it goes right in the jar.
And it goes right down that net, and you take it out, and you come up the other way, and you pray he doesn't get it the next time. You're going to watch Antoine Jameson. He's feeling no effects of that groin injury. There he is, posted wide. He's got the great catch and release, the quickest catch and release. We had a great stat in our first matchup. Jay Billis and company. He touched the ball 53 seconds and scored 35 points.
I mean, he's not a guy that gets the ball, dribbles 5 or 6 times, and backs in on you.
Wow, 53 seconds, and you produced 35 points.
Jameson so far today, 10 points, 5 boards. Wojo back in to run the team for Duke. Avery goes baseline. Carolina running with a chance to take the lead.
Elijah playing a nice game on the floor, Mike. He and Battier, not scoring, but they're playing a solid game. Rebounded.
Shamon Williams.
All the stars are rising. Why not? All the stars are rising, showing why they're 2 of America's best.
Shamon Williams has 8. And North Carolina on an 8-0 run. Dick, you alluded to the fact it was like 2 heavyweights at the start of this game. It still is. One guy throws 2 huge punches, and then here comes the other guy right back.
And there's no biting, baby.
Brand kept it alive. Avery inside the arc with a miss. Jameson with a rebound.
See, I think Duke gets itself in trouble when they shoot the ball too quickly, when they get a little impatient and they don't make the extra pass.
Carolina by 3. Duke has only hit 5 of 14 long-range shots. Carter blocked by Battier, but foul.
Oh, is he playing emotional now? Mr. Carter really elevating himself here.
2 on Battier.
Going to take a look at Carter now, trying to post inside against Battier. The 2 diaper dandies going at it. 2 high school All-Americans.
First free throws of the ball game for North Carolina, and Carter, who's a 66.7% shooter, hits the first.
Came down, almost went to Duke. Florida and Florida State and North Carolina were his final 4. He's missed the basketball in the state of Florida.
He could give the Heels a 5-point lead, and does. 38-33, Carolina. Chris Carrawell, the offensive star so far, with a dozen for the Blue Devils. Shamon Williams has been able to answer from long range with 8.
Again, and back at the Greensboro Coliseum, the Tar Heels taking a 5-point lead as we keep track of the point guard matchup between Ed Cota and Steve Wojciechowski. It's one that most of the time you can't measure with numbers, their contributions in other ways. Wojciechowski digging down for the steal early on in this one. He's done it on the defensive end, stopping the penetration especially on the break of Ed Cota, one of the keys for the Blue Devils. And offensively, facing that zone, Wojo has been able to find shooters like Langdon to spot up for the three. But Dick and Mike, you know there are some big plays down the line in this one from the 2 point guards.
Oh, absolutely, Terry. And the one thing I've noticed over the years is when Cota gets off to a good start against Duke, he usually gets hotter as the game goes along. He's not gotten off to a good start here. Carolina with 10 straight and their biggest lead in the ball game at 38-33.
Well, a big possession. You don't want to go into halftime down 10, and Carolina on a real run right now. You got to stop the momentum. Trying to show some patience with this possession.
Langdon fouled on the way in. No, he traveled.
Oh, I don't know about that travel there, Mike. I don't know about that travel right there.
Neither does Mike Krzyzewski.
Coach K working that sideline, former West Point cadet.
North Carolina shooting 59% so far. Duke only 36.
North Carolina's led the nation at 53%.
There's the 10-0 run.
They play so well. It seems they elevate their game against Duke. I mean, other than that one spurt Duke made in that second matchup, they've dominated Duke head-to-head for about, when you talk about 70 minutes of action.
They call Trajan Langdon fighting through a screen. That's his second. 1:05 to go. That'll put a new 35 on the shot clock. And Mike Krzyzewski unhappy. Very much so with the way this has gone. He did not like to call Langdon traveling at the other end and did not like to call on that one.
Well, one of the things that makes Frank Scagliato, I believe, a great official, he lets coaches vent out their feelings. He knows how emotional it is, and he's not going to be embarrassed by anyone, but he's intelligent enough to know that a coach has a little gripe here and there. Let him get it out, walk away from him, and that's the bottom line. And just let's play. Let's not call it quit team.
Shimon Williams hits them both. He's going for the school record for a single-season free throw percentage. And now North Carolina is on a 12-0 run.
Well, Williams, one of the great free throw shooters in the conference, 89%.
Wojo for three. That one's blocked. Good hustle by Brand to keep it alive. McLeod, too strong.
Not even close. Shot that too quickly. It's been all North Carolina the last 3 minutes, and they're getting momentum big time going into that locker room.
Coming up on the 7-Up halftime report, we'll take a look at the SEC Championship, how many teams are on the bubble, and an Oklahoma-Kansas preview. About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. A walk on Cota. Another North Carolina turnover.
Mike, Duke needs a score here to get a little bit of a lift mentally. Down 7 now. You've been struggling. They're on a 12-zip run. You got to somehow get a deuce out of this possession. See, I would right now think Langdon or McLeod. Those are the two guys I would want to shoot the basketball and get ran on the offensive board.
Duke has missed its last 7 shots. They'll play for the last shot of the half here.
And they're going to go into their zone right now, North Carolina. That means that Brand can get a nice lane to the offensive boards against the zone. Now they're rotating, trying to match up out of it. Trying to match up.
McLeod got it to Langdon for three. Huge shot. Just a huge shot with 1 second on the clock.
And there's the zone again, Mike. Make the extra pass, step in the gap, and drill that zone. That zone has been totally ineffective. The only thing it's done positively is given them a chance to rest a little bit. But there's the great pass, the zigzag pass against the zone with Langdon's shooting ability. Very difficult to zone Duke.
Our halftime score, 40-36, North Carolina over Duke. We're in Greensboro. Let's check in with Chris and Digger.
Mike, thank you. Digger, in a heavyweight fight, you don't always want to have to come from behind in the later rounds, and that Langdon 3 ends a 12-0 Tar Heel run.
They needed that for a little momentum, but go back to Game 2. The first halftime in Game 2, Carolina out-rebounded Duke 18-9, and they had 22 points to 6 in the paint, Carolina. Coach K did a good job of keeping momentum close the first half until they had that drought. They're shooting under 40%. Really hurt them at the end of half, but the 3 gives them the juice before halftime.
Coming up, a Championship Sunday edition of the 7-Up halftime.
ESPN's presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler invite you to try the crisp new taste of 7-Up. And in part by the full line of vehicles from Mitsubishi, built for living.
Welcome back to the jam-packed Greensboro Coliseum. We're at halftime of the ACC Championship game. North Carolina 40 and Duke 36 at the half. Glad you could join us, everybody. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale, Terry Gannon with us today, our entire ESPN crew. This is the dream matchup that we waited for, and we haven't been disappointed.
You know, Mike, I just was thinking for a moment. Remember yesterday, Shammond Williams makes a big three at halftime and gives them some momentum. Exactly. They were on the ropes. Well, maybe that three by Trajan Langdon could give them that momentum. They needed it so badly. Carolina was on a 12-zip run and had that big lead. Right. But that big three gets it to 4.
Take a look at Jamison in the first half. His availability was in question because of the groin pull yesterday. He's fine.
There's no doubt about it. They couldn't handle him on the inside. There he is on the offensive glass. Look at him right here. So active. Forget about the groin. That groin is no problem. And he does other quick. Look at him handling a basketball. Something you don't often see. And there he is with the pass to the backdoor cut by Okalaja. Showing a total game right now, Mr. Jamison. I think he loves that Duke uniform. He's shooting, Mike. You ready for this? 67% in 3 games against Duke.
As a team today, North Carolina shooting almost 60%. Duke in the mid-30s. They've hit only 6 of 17 from long range. North Carolina's 9 turnovers have been a difference, but Jamison, 10 points, 6 boards.
Mike, you know what? Not enough credit given it is North Carolina's field goal percentage defensively leads the conference. We talk about their offensive efficiency, but defensively, they're the best in terms of allowing 38%. That's unbelievable.
McLeod with a penetration, can't get it. Jamison with his 7th rebound.
He's got those long arms, Jamison, which makes him a bigger player.
Coda had a tough first half, 1 assist and 3 turnovers, courtesy of Wojciechowski's defense.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that Carolina would execute as well without him being effective, but they were able to get their shots.
Jamison to Okalaja. Got the roll.
I'll tell you, big three right there by Adamola, but it's created with Jamison's presence on the floor. Made that shot happen.
43-36. Wojo and McLeod with a 2-man game. Wojciechowski short on the 3. McLeod with a rebound, short on the follow.
Just not shooting well right now. Wojciechowski and Avery between them are 0 for 9. Pretty tough to beat them if you're not going to shoot well when they're shooting 59% as a team.
Especially when you're getting the good shots.
Langdon's the guy that's got to step up. They got to get some shots for Trajan Langdon.
McLeod for 3.
Well, McLeod's been doing it all year long, and he's certainly a kid that even if he gets in a little bit of a slump, he'll keep shooting the rock.
He's hit 3 from downtown and has 13 points. The lead is 4.
See, Brandon will allow Jamison to drift on a perimeter, doesn't want him inside.
Coda with the penetration. Oh, Jamison! And Battier got it as it rolled tantalizingly off the rim. McLeod tried to get it to Brand. Coda knocked it out.
You know, a little interesting at halftime, you noticed that Shammond Williams was complaining about the basketball. Said that it didn't have enough air in it. For the people out there, a ball must be between 7 and 9 pounds. This ball, they tested it. It's 8 pounds. Referee said fine.
Just didn't like the way it bounced. Brand fouled by Jamison as he got a piece of the ball and a piece of Brand.
Well, I'll tell you one thing with Shammond, it hasn't bothered him stroking the basketball in the tournament. They said it's been the same ball they used the whole tournament. Players always looking for an edge. Look at Brand inside, sitting with that big body, the rotation over. There's the foul. Struggled on a foul line in the first half.
Brand only a 59% free throw shooter on the season.
Came up so big in that second half, and they're winning at Cameron Indoor Stadium where the crowd was electric.
Brand 2 out of 4 from the line. Coda will go out.
You know, Mike, talking to the writers here, talking to Dick Weiss, Mark Blaushin from out of the Boston Globe, and all of them said the same thing. Those 2 uniforms, no matter who's wearing the jersey, they just produce so much juice, so much excitement, so much energy. When you see those jerseys, you think of all that tradition, and that's what this is all about. Anytime it's Carolina and Duke, it's so special.
43-41. Williams against Wojciechowski. A lot of contact. Carter with the long three. Bodies flying. And Battier will be called with a personal on the takedown of Jamison.
I'll tell you, Battier right now, the diaper dandy, hooking up with Antoine Jamison, who hits the deck more than anybody in college basketball. Look at Jamison right here. Look how he's up on top. Got two good angles for you. They tackle him. He said, wait a minute, this is not football. What am I going to the deck so often?
3 fouls on Battier. He'll come out, and Carrawell, who was the offensive star of the first half with a dozen, is back in.
One thing, they got a lot of fouls to give when you talk about Duke, with that bench being so deep.
North Carolina does not. Maktar Jai, who picked up 3 in the first half, is playing here in the second at the beginning.
Well, they're starting to play Hayward a little bit more, so that gives them 7 players, which certainly would be enough during tournament time.
Shammond Williams hangs in the air, draws the foul. He loves that attitude because he can go to the free throw line.
Where he's automatic. He's going to become, in the history of North Carolina, the greatest free throw shooter ever to play. Think about that. With all the great ones that have worn that Carolina blue, he will probably break Jeff Lebo's record, which was 87% for a career.
He's ahead of it now.
At 89.
Last foul was on McLeod. It was his third, and Shammond Williams got the shooter's roll on that one.
Well, they iced him big time when he converted 2 out of the 3 when Profit fouled him yesterday.
That was one of the great jobs by a coach, as Gary Williams did everything he could to keep that going. And you see Shammond Williams now holds the 3-point record for the Tar Heels. 222 for his career. Langdon for 3. Carrawell, offensive rebound. Got the follow.
Carrawell really keeping him in the game, playing so well. But the bottom line is Donald Williams was some kind of shooter there for North Carolina. Played a big role in them winning a national title. Carter goes to the sideline.
Vince Carter is down.
Wow.
Still had that arm tucked under him.
Well, he's got that ear cast he wears. Vince Carter, one of the high rises, such a tremendous momentum player. He's a guy that gives you big momentum. It looks like pain, Mike. We're not doctors and certainly can't tell what's wrong.
Well, he already had the air cast on the left ankle. They're not looking at that. It was an injury he suffered very early in the season, and the only time he wears the air cast is when he's going to play 2 or 3 in a row, as in tournament time. But they seem to be looking at the left knee. And that is not good news for North Carolina. Their obvious concern coming into the game was the groin injury suffered by Antoine Jamison yesterday. And that's turned out to be just fine.
Well, there he is right now. He's chasing Langdon, trying to get over the screen. He runs into Elton Brand, a big guy, makes contact there. You know, you think about the history of North Carolina over the years, Mike. They've had some key players at the end of the season get hurt. Kenny Smith was one. Steve Hale was another.
Kenny Smith was the one that broke their heart.
Oh, he's okay. He's walking up. He gets a nice hug from Maktar Jai. There's his family. His stepdad is a music director at the high school. He used to be, ready for this, a drum major. I mean, that is, really, think about it, a drum major for his high school out in Daytona Beach. His high school coach and he have a great relationship.
Well, he limped off after the replay with Brand. You can either hit knee to knee, which really hurts you, or you can get a knee up in the thigh area, which, you know, is really painful.
Very painful.
2-point game, 17-11 to go in the championship contest.
Duke's defense has not been able to give them a spurt off their defensive end, which is really big for them normally.
Shammond Williams for 3. Jai with a rebound. Williams drives again. Got it.
I'll tell you, he's become such a better driver. He's not just a perimeter shooter. He has really worked on his ball handling and his ability to get to the rack.
The Heels by 4. Maktar Jai, good defense. Knocked it away, and Okalai just stole it.
Oh, look at that ball handling wizardry right there of Coda.
Jai from 16.
Oh, that really, they allow him to shoot the ball, and he's going to knock it down.
Maktar Jai with 4 points. The lead again grows to 6, and we understand it was a knee to the thigh that has put Vince Carter on the bench.
And Williams really taking the challenge now of checking Langdon, who's got to get free for some shots.
McLeod got Jamison in the air, will draw the foul. Jamison and McLeod both go down hard.
Well, McLeod has become such an outstanding NBA prospect with all his versatility. This was another example of his post-up ability, using all kinds of fakes to be able to draw the contact.
Second team foul against North Carolina here in the half. Duke has also drawn 2.
You talk about #1 seeds. There's no doubt about it who the 4 are going to be, obviously. But Kentucky has come on big time strong. These clubs playing for the #1 seed in the East, hoping to be right here in Greensboro. Well, it would be such a plus for them to play here.
McLeod with 14 points, and now Carter being iced. Hopefully Vince will be able to return.
They're going to need him down the stretch, Mike. It's going to be really tough to play without a Vince Carter, because you just feel that Duke is so capable with their depth to wear you down and get one of those spurts off the defensive end, creating turnovers.
McLeod out of Jersey City, New Jersey, with 15 points. He cuts the lead to 4. Now Williams will handle the ball, guarded by Langdon. Goes right by him. Jamison kept it alive on the floor. Nice job by Burgess. Ahead to Carrawell.
That's a good
within 2.
Carrawell gets out in transition, comes off their defensive end, but nobody rotated back after the penetration by Williams. Langdon really was matador defense. I mean, he ran right by Langdon.
Duke won the battle when the ball went to the floor. Cota against Avery.
Burgess hooking up inside with a lot of contact with Jai on the interior.
Jai backing in against Burgess, hits another one.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike, he has really become more offensive-minded the latter part of the season. At 16 against Wake Forest when they came back from 17 down.
He's hit 2 in a row, the lead back to 4.
I'll tell you, Shaman really working defensively.
McLeod for 3.
I'll tell you, Rashawn McLeod putting any doubt whatsoever why he should have been an all-ACC selection.
Jamison couldn't get out off the screen, and after the shot, Antoine just rolled his eyes like, how can you cover him everywhere?
He's got that great touch.
Langdon nearly got the steal, recovers against Williams.
What makes the matchup Langdon? Now look at Burgess, they got to switch. They got to switch inside. Mike Scagliotti's got a hold. See, look at these two banging inside. Look at McLeod trying to hook up now on the defensive end against Jamison. All kinds of swim strokes.
They called the foul on McLeod. That is his 4th. And Rashawn McLeod with 18 points is in trouble for the Blue Devils.
Billy.
A 1-point lead for North Carolina with 14:36 to go in the championship game. And Dick, here's a huge sequence where McLeod, the leading scorer for Duke, picks up his 4th.
Well, it's 51-50, and you just said 14:36. So you can get a number of fouls on him if you want. Look, he's hugging him right there. He's holding. I mean, they could call it there. He's bumping him there. I mean, he's bumping him over here. I mean, he's grabbing him, knocking him to the deck. I could have called 6 fouls in that whole series. They're letting him play, but that's significant. He's got 18 points. He's made all the clutch shots to keep him in the game, and now he sits on the pine with 4 fouls. That means a guy like Langdon now has to elevate and come up with the big shot.
Or Carrawell, who did so well in the first half.
Langdon only 2 for 7 right here. He's having a tough time defensively also against Shaman Williams. He's been breaking him down. He said, I'm the man, I'm the bomb today.
Cota being guarded by Avery.
Mathieu now, there he is checking Jamison.
Cota trying to penetrate, kicks it out to Shaman for 3. Jamison, got it.
It's amazing how he keeps coming up with those offensive rebounds. So active. He goes after every basketball on the glass like it's his last meal. It's unbelievable.
Antoine Jamison has 9 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. Burgess will shoot.
Will allow Burgess to shoot that jumper from the perimeter. That's not a shot Mike Krzyzewski would like to see. It's struggle time right now for Duke. Struggle time. They can't defend them, Mike. They're executing, getting the shots they want.
Elton Brand is not on the floor right now. Mike Krzyzewski has him up immediately. They need somebody who can put the body on Jamison. The lead back to 5. Langdon pull-up jumper. No.
2 for 8 out of Langdon. You got your all-ACC guy coming up empty.
North Carolina is so capable of these huge runs that can put a team away. Nice defense by Burgess. Here's the steal.
He's got Langdon.
Carrawell takes it all away.
Where would they be without Chris Carrawell today. I mean, where would they be? But Burgess made the great hustle denial on the wing to create the opportunity for Carrawell. See, that's their defense. That's where they've excelled all year, forcing the turnover and creating the offensive score. Hasn't happened.
Carrawell, who averages 9 points a game, has 18 today in the championship.
Well, like the Turbe yesterday, averaging 5, and he goes off for big numbers against Duke.
Jamison penetrates on Battier.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. The guy is absolutely super.
Antoine Jamison, 16 points, 10 boards, back to 5.
He's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Langdon answers.
Oh, they needed that free from the Alaskan Assassin. What a great matchup, as Dave Gavitt said one time. The NBA is about the jersey on the name on the back of the jersey. College is about the name of the jersey, of the name of the school on the front of that jersey.
Hey, you've got a lot of influence with these people. Do me a favor. When this one's over, ask them if we can play another one. This is too much fun to end at 12:25.
I agree. Let's play. I got time before the selection show. Let's see. This game ends 3. We could do another one. No doubt about it. Let's call up our people. Play one for the fans. They owe one to the fans. I agree with you. Ernie Banks. Let's play 2, baby.
Jamon Williams picked up by Avery. A 2-point North Carolina lead. Maktar Jai, the suddenly offensive Maktar Jai. And Wojciechowski does it again. Wojo reaches in to steal it.
Oh, what a
got
play.
it back to him.
What a play, what a Rambo man. He led the league in steals last year. The little guy, Wojciechowski.
The inspirational leader of the program. Avery. Wojciechowski will settle things down.
I would go to Brand inside. Go to Brand. Take him inside.
And he is hacked from behind, racing in from behind Ed Cota.
That was a smart play right there. Good basketball IQ. Bring the ball inside. Try to get another foul on Jai. Bring the ball to the interior. As the coach of Brain Trust, led by this man, 7 Final Fours, national titles, 91, 92. Trying to win his first ACC tournament since 92.
Dick, you just knew that Duke was going to have to go back inside. When Elton Brand came in, that's where they were going to go. Brand at the line.
But when he goes inside to him, what it does, it opens up shots from the perimeter. It opens up that passing lane because you have to give help on him, and it creates offensive opportunities from 3.
Elton Brand can tie it. He's hit 4 out of 6 from the line.
He's saying, wow, it wasn't like this in Peekskill, New York in high school last year. What a difference. Peekskill High School basketball playing against Antoine Jamison in North Carolina.
We're tied at 57. Just what we expected. A battle down to the wire. No contest. Where else would you rather be? Duke and North Carolina tied at 57 with 11:38 to go on Championship Sunday. Antoine Jamison has been huge again today, Dick.
I'll tell you, Antoine Jamison's so active. We see so many times with that catch and release so quickly. Establish a post position. Now we're going to watch how active he is without the basketball. That's why he's so difficult. The challenge. And there he is on the offensive boards. I mean, just quickly getting the basketball. Now he's going to show he can put it to the deck. He says, no, Diaper Dandy, you can't check me because I'm awesome, baby, with a capital A. I'm AJ. I'm Antoine Jamison, the best in America. I'm a PTPer.
Now, the way Duke plays its defense, they rotate so many players. Here he is what he has done against individuals guarding him. He's had the most success against Battier and Burgess, but not Brand, because Brand can put that 260 pounds on it.
Well, if I look at those numbers and I'm the Duke coaching staff and I'm charting that, I'm saying, Mr. Brand, you have to check him down the stretch.
Mike Chappelle, who has not seen very much action today, comes in and picks up a personal foul with the forearm against Carter.
His minutes have really diminished as the season progressed. He started out having a lot more time. You know, next year Duke gets a kid by the name of Corey McGetty. Everybody says sensational from out of Illinois.
Jamison with a lean in.
Waving it off.
That's it, foul.
Oh, Frank Scagliano with the great angle. Bill Duckridge can't believe it. He said a superstar not supposed to get that call against him.
He loves to lean in, but that one looked like he was at about 45 degrees.
There it is right now. He catches, and look at Battier get position. That's what he leads the team in steals, Battier.
Duke can't take advantage. Hayward trying to make the catch at the other end. He does, but throws it right to Battier.
See, right now you got to have poise, shot selection. The one thing Bill Guthridge, again, like his predecessor, brings so much poise to that sideline. Always under control.
Duke winning the turnover battle. That is usually so huge. Air ball from Chappelle.
Earlier in the year, he was knocking down that trifecta at a rate of about 50%.
Cota trying to penetrate.
Cota changed the first game, Mike, when Duke came back within 4. Cota made 2 great scores.
Interested in the fate of Miami, Iowa, Wake Forest, or any other of your favorite teams on the fence? We'll join Chris, Digger, Dick, and Quinn at 6:30. We'll have the most complete and comprehensive breakdown of the brackets on the men's selection special presented by GTE. Then the women's NCAA selection show presented by State Farm. Robin, Mimi, and Rebecca will take you through the women's draw. And North Carolina has just regained the lead courtesy of the Ed Cota free throw.
Well, Cota showed his ability to get to the basket. You know, we talk about the selection show, and we talk about this conference. This year, as the media we're talking today, all the national media that we hear, the RPI rating is the highest in the history of utilizing the RPI rating. Based on that, in the presence of Carolina and Duke, Wake Forest certainly should be one of the at-large teams selected with 7 wins in conference play.
Maktar Jai comes back in, and here's what the Deacons did this year. 7-9 in the conference.
Well, you know, their schedule strength is so strong. Your heart will go out for those clubs that win 24 games and don't get a bid.
Langdon for the lead. Kept alive by Carrawell.
He's been a monster today. Carrawell's been an absolute monster on a glass court.
Brand tries to save it, then Langdon, holy cow.
I mean, you talk about hustling, what coaches talk about when they tip off on October 15th at Midnight Madness, when they talked about it. It's all being right here, laid on the floor to try and become the #1 seed here in the East. I mean, look at this hustle. Kicking it out. I mean, he's going to make the All-Madden team. He keeps diving in the stands like that.
Well, Quinn Snyder still has some quicks. He saw that coming and got out of there. Cota having a lot of trouble with Wojciechowski today. Wojo's thrown up some great defense on him. Now he picks up Shaman. Vince Carter, look how high he can get up there. Oh, Jamison nearly had the spectacular follow of the year.
He would have brought the house down big time. See, right now I'd go to Brand inside. I'm dumping to the big guy inside. Jai's bumping on him. Get the angle, 45-degree angle. Take advantage of post play inside.
Langdon with a penetration. Wouldn't go for him. Brand with a follow. Wouldn't go. Battier with the save, but he's out of bounds, and Jamison helped him. Great play by Jamison.
Oh, what hustle and scrapping inside. Brand comes up empty on the offensive rebound. A little curl move for Langdon, who's having a tough day shooting the basketball.
Dick, they may look back at that possession because 2 point-blank shots that would not fall.
Yeah, one automatic usually for Langdon with that curl move down the lane.
Langdon only 3 out of 11. Shooting. Brand is working on a double-double. 9 points, 9 boards.
Wojo now matched up again with Cota. Can't allow him to beat you off dribble penetration. It's a screen by Jai trying to get him free in the lane.
When Duke double teams, they recover so quickly. Shot clock at 12. Carter for 3. Out of bounds to Duke. Boy, it looked like Carter may have been, or Brand may have been the last one to touch that, and the fans didn't like the call.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Now look at the physical contact right here on Jamison. He's going to grab his jersey. Look at this. He's going to try to grab his jersey. He's going to put a hand on him. I mean, he's going to box out. He's going to try to seal him off.
North Carolina by 2. 8:51 to go in the ball game. It's been as good as we thought it would be.
Now dump it inside and give help. There it is.
It's a triple team. Kicked outside, recovered by Langdon. Carrawell. Carter thought he got there in time.
Krzyzewski's got to really think now a little bit about a situation where you want to go inside, but also bring the ball outside because they're doubling up so quickly on Brand on the interior.
And how long do you leave Rashawn McLeod on the bench?
Well, he's out there now, Mike.
Oh, that's right. They brought him back.
Yeah, they brought McLeod on the floor.
Duke with 16 offensive rebounds today, and Maktar Jai is still on the floor.
So much contact on the inside. Hey, this is no place for the weak to play. I can tell you that.
Carter hurt earlier in the ball game as he took a knee to the thigh. Jamison, of course, with the groin pulled yesterday. But now Bill Guthridge is going to call his team over to the bench while the medical staff attends to the senior from Dakar, Senegal.
Well, you talk about medical staff. That Duke staff did a phenomenal job with Elton Brand, and certainly in North Carolina, a fine hospital there, and they have such fine people. Basically, across America, we don't give enough credit today to the sophistication of the trainers and the ability they have to get these players to be able to take the pounding that they take.
Maktar looks like he's all right.
Going to watch Maktar. Look, his hands are on his knees. Could be a little bit exhausted. He just goes down. Nobody makes contact. Could be exhaustion.
I think he got hit, and it was a sort of one of those delayed reactions. Almost like a concussion reaction. They're checking his eyes, and then he got hit right in the forehead. Hopefully he'll be all right and be able to come back.
You know, down the stretch, Mike, if you look at minutes played and this game is close, the edge would go to Duke in terms of having fresher bodies down the stretch. And that was a factor in game 2.
McLeod, pull-up jumper. Jamison with another rebound. He has 14 today.
And he hugs that basketball. The crowd gets live with the Tar Heel faithful.
We approach 8 minutes with North Carolina on top by a bucket.
Remember, in the latter stages of the game, Jamison didn't touch the ball in that second matchup after a great start.
And Cotto will take the 3. And it looks like Jamison or McLeod.
But they're going to stay here with it. I think it might have been Brand. Going to watch Elton Brand now trying to keep Jamison off the glass. Going to try and make contact, find him, seal him, trying to feel for him, trying to keep him off the glass, using his big body on him.
The foul was called on Carrawell. It is a 2-point Tar Heel lead.
From the granddaddy of conference tournaments in the ACC to the newborn Big Ten event, Boilermakers and Wolverines in the championship game. Boilers have jumped on top. The big one, Brad Miller, down low. It is Purdue by 6. Mike, Dick.
All right, thanks, Chris. It's a 2-point game here. Neither team in the bonus as far as fouls. North Carolina whistled for 5, Duke for 6 here in the second half. Carter skies.
That's the first basket in over 4.5 minutes against Duke. And on the other side, you know, Duke has not been able to score in the last 4:45 against North Carolina. So defense has come up big. What a big basket there by the Heels.
The lead is 4.
Trying to get that little 2-man game inside with McLeod and Langdon on the same side of the floor. See, there it is. If you give help, he'll kick it back out.
Langdon for 3. Wasn't really set. Hits the top of the back support out to North Carolina.
I'll tell you, Langdon's really struggled shooting the basketball.
He is so quick with that release, but he wasn't set on that one. Here's the game summary. 9 out of 25. That is 36% for Duke from long range, 33% overall. And North Carolina, as you would expect, although maybe more than you might expect, more than double the points in the paint of Duke.
Yeah, because of the presence of Jamison. The three-point shot being utilized big time today by Duke. 25 attempts, shooting poorly, 33%, but 9 threes have kept them in the game.
Got it low to Carter, and Carter is fouled.
I'll tell you, Carter's starting to step it up, Mike. Carter's starting to really step it up. The last possession with a score, and now again wanting the basketball. Look at Wojo defensively. This is what it's about today. It's been about a defensive effort. You see the intensity and the focus and the hustle. Great concentration by both clubs on a defensive end.
Vince Carter, 2 out of 2 from the line, 9 points today. That makes it a 5-point Tar Heel lead with 7:05 to go in the game. Maktar Jai will come back in. Cotto will rest.
I'll tell you, what a great job. We sing the praises of North Carolina offensively. As I said earlier, they lead the conference in field goal percentage defensively, 38%. Don't get enough credit for their defensive effort. And today, they're making it tough for Duke to get good shots.
Carter with that sweet stroke has put them up by 6.
I think this is the biggest possession of the day, Mike. They got to get a deuce in this possession. They're down 6. They're struggling now for 5 minutes, haven't scored.
They got it to Brand, stolen by Shamon Williams.
Not executing offensively, Duke. Credit that to Carolina.
Shaman trying to go end.
That's trouble, baby. That's trouble for the Dukies right now. The Heels are making the big plays, and who else but Mr. Shaman Williams?
Biggest lead of the game, 8 points at 65-57. And Duke wants a 20-second timeout to talk about it.
They need a TO, baby. I think they're going to make it a long one.
.6:45 to go on Championship Sunday. The lead is 8. By 8, 6:45 left, and Shaman Williams will go to the line to shoot. It's been a real drought for the Blue Devils. They have not scored a field goal in the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, the last time they scored was at the 12:25 mark. You know, 2 reasons why North Carolina is right now dominating. One, the Duke defense is not creating offensive opportunities like they've done all year long, forcing so many turnovers and creating offensive opportunities. That's because of the ball handling ability of the perimeter people for North Carolina.
The Heels have hit all 11 of their free throw attempts. Shaman Williams has 17. Biggest lead of the game. Avery inside, threw it away.
They're really doing a great job hustling right now.
Elijah fouled by Brand, and Brand and Elijah both went down hard. Dangerous play by Brand as he literally dove to try to touch the ball.
Bill Guthridge wants the intentional, but he did go after the basketball. He didn't go after the body.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like he dove into the midsection.
Right.
But this was a dangerous play.
There's the ball. It's loose to the deck. Now you're up in transition. There's Adamola. There's the return. Made contact, no doubt about it. Good news is that Adamola's okay. I tell you, look at his hustle and scrap, but it's all coming the way of Carolina now.
Elijah at the line, 10 points today, his first trip to the free throw strike.
They've really negated that Duke pressure defensively, where Duke has utilized it for years as an offensive weapon.
Brand being booed by the Carolina fans as he sits down. And keep this in mind, it's very difficult for a guy like Elijah to shoot free throws after you've been nailed like that. Missed them both. But an offensive rebound by Jamison as that one bounced way out to the side.
See, right now, Jamison quick to the ball. McLeod's got 4 fouls. I'd go to Jamison. He can't play him.
Jamison has 15 rebounds in this game.
I'd go right to Jamison now. I'd go right to Jamison. Let him take. He should take McLeod right now. He's got 4 fouls.
Jamison from the baseline.
Got to go to Jamison right there. They're not going to guard him, McLeod.
Jamison has 18 and a double-digit lead for the first time.
There's trouble big time for the Duke Blue Devils.
Avery, short. Jamison.
Starting to panic a little bit offensively now, Mike. Starting to panic. You got to salute the Tar Heels there. Really made the big plays here late in this game.
Jamison has taken over, and Bill Guthridge wanted a 20-second timeout to talk about it. Jamison, 18 points, 16 rebounds, and Avery, who was yesterday's hero, is 0 for 7 from the floor today.
What about the groin injury? I thought it was going to affect them big time. The groin injury everybody talked about. There's no groin injury here, baby. There's a little switch defensively. Jamison takes advantage of it. North Carolina trying to seal a #1 seed here.
Dick, if he's got a groin injury, every player in the country ought to go out and get one. Duke has gone 6 minutes and 49 seconds without a field goal. They simply can't find anybody to hit the big one.
And now Duke won the regular conference by winning 15 games, the most in the history of the ACC. But right now, it's a 2 out of 3 shootout, and it's all Carolina here late in this game.
5:26 left. The lead is 11. Out of bounds to Duke.
They got to come up with some big threes. The guys right now are going to start looking McLeod and Langdon.
Avery, the freshman, will run the club.
Needs offense, and that's why Wojo's on the sideline right now. He's trying to get some offense in with Avery. Oh, bad play right there.
Shammond Williams with the steal, and Avery commits the foul, and right now Avery is not in it.
Yeah, got to take Avery out of the game. Remember, he struggled big time in game 1. He went through a spot there where he really struggled. Yeah, I think right now you got to go with Wojciechowski, and there he is.
And he's up.
He certainly was been great for Duke all year long, Avery. He's had so many great moments.
Brand is also going to come back in, and Carter will check in for the Heels. And Mr. Automatic, Shammond Williams, goes to the free throw line.
They've done a great job of keeping Langdon off the free throw line. Wow, 0 for 9 Duke is our great stat man. Marty A gives me the totals here. 0 for 9 field goal wise in the last 7 minutes and 14 seconds.
Battier will also sit down with Avery. At the 5-11 mark, the lead has grown to 12. Williams can make it 13. And does. Another critical possession for Duke. 13-0 run after we were tied. McLeod got it. Rashawn McLeod with 20. Wojo with a steal. McLeod for 3. Got it.
Got to get a 20-second timeout right now and regroup if you're Bill Guthridge. You don't want it to get away from you now. You've been in command. Wojo with the steal. McLeod answers with a big 3.
Down to 8. What did Wojciechowski do as soon as he came in? Made an impact. Williams backs out. Fall away. Saved by Jamison.
I'll tell you, Jamison coming up with every loose ball, every offensive rebound. And now they're going to manage the clock.
Shot clock is at 7. Cota!
He can do that, Mike. Doesn't do it enough. He can do that all night long, as Lionel Richie sings.
The lead back to 10. McLeod's been on fire the entire game. Tries a 3. Carrawell tips it to Langdon. Langdon forced that 3. And it's North Carolina ball.
Trajan Langdon, struggle city right now, shooting the basketball. 3 for 13. Tough to win when your star is coming up empty and not tickling the line.
And Cota didn't get the ball across midcourt. That's a 10-second call. Cota just wasn't paying attention. He was trying to work the clock. The Carolina bench was yelling to get the ball up, but he didn't hear him.
There's a guy that knew how to work the clock. Phil Ford, player of the year in the late 70s. A brilliant, brilliant performer.
Avery is back in. They'll go with a 3-guard offense.
They're going to get some touches inside. They're going exclusively with the perimeter now. Throw it into Brand inside. As soon as you double up, he's got to find the open man.
And Brand kicked it out of bounds to the Tar Heels. Things are coming apart for the Blue Devils.
Shammond Williams did a great job rotating down on Brand. See, he's going to catch the ball in deep. Now watch Shammond. There's the double up. As soon as you feel that double up pressure, you got to find the open man.
Duke has had 6 turnovers in the last 6 minutes. Now they're down by 10.
Ray Flafretz leads the number 3 Kansas Jayhawks into the Phillips 66 Big 12 championship game. And along with Paul Pierce, they must face Corey Brewer and the Oklahoma Sooners, who also shoot for the title. Oklahoma, Kansas, next.
It's the great voice of Ron Franklin awaiting you after our ball game. 3:33 to go here. North Carolina leads by 10. And Duke has already committed 10 personal fouls, so they'll be in the double bonus. Let's check in with Terry Gannon.
Well, Mike, we've been following the point guard matchup. Really the story with that today, the defense of Steve Wojciechowski on Ed Cota. Until the last drive down the lane, Wojo had just stopped the penetration all day long. Cota hadn't been able to get anything going. On the other end, as you know, though, Wojo not a scorer, and he's had a number of three-point opportunities throughout the game. Will Avery has been in the game because of that. But you know Mike Krzyzewski wants his defense in, and he looks to him in the last 3 minutes to try to lead a comeback with his emotion.
I'll tell you, Terry, they need you to go out there and knock down some threes right now and put the uniform on for the Dukies. But you know, it's interesting. Cota not effective, but they've been able to execute and get their motion game with some good ball movement, not counting on his penetration.
Well, Shammond Williams is one of the reasons because he's such a good ball ball handler, and everybody else on his team is such a good passer.
Well, what they've done is they've taken away the pressure on Cota, basically, in many occasions, letting Shaman handle it. Now there's Cota trying to make that dribble penetration.
Spread the floor and let him go one-on-one. Shaman Williams with the left hand. Still plenty of time, 3:04. Wojo wants the ball, and 3. Got it!
I was downtown. I mean, he shot that downtown from Winston-Salem.
Holy cow.
You know, 30 of the attempts for Duke out of their 64 shots have been threes. Nothing really. I mean, there's not enough balance.
72-65. Duke really gambling on defense now, going for the steal at every opportunity.
That should create an opportunity for Jamison inside the way to deny it.
Wojciechowski called for the foul as he slammed into Cota. That's the first one on Wojo.
They're going to see the kick out by Avery to Wojciechowski with the downtown 3. We talked about the game coming up next. Kansas, Roy Williams, I guarantee you, former North Carolina assistant, really concerned about this game here. His son on the sideline, but he's got more concerns about Corey Brewer in Oklahoma, who's done a great job. Kelvin Sampson.
North Carolina shooting very well from the free throw line. 13 out of 15 as a team. Cota has hit 2 for 2. Got the roll on that one.
And that is so big when you can make free throws down the stretch.
Well, Cota, one of the best free throw shooters in the ACC, 81%. He gets lost because Shaman Williams shoots almost 90.
Boy, Mike, think about that combination. Very difficult to come back against Carolina because the ball exclusively is usually in the hands of Williams and Cota, and both excel on the charity stripe.
This one would make it a 9-point lead with 2:35 to go.
Got to block out if he does miss. Jamison is so quick to that glass.
(74-65). Duke pushes it up. Langdon stripped.
I haven't seen Langdon struggle like he is today in every phase of the game, Mike. Defensively trying to check Williams. He's struggling shooting the basketball. There's an old saying, when you're struggling shooting the basketball many a time, it affects other parts of your game.
He's trying so hard. He's really forcing things that aren't there.
Right now, he's got 4 turnovers as well, shooting 3 for 13. Great kid, the Alaskan Assassins, had a brilliant career. Came back from knee surgery 2 years ago.
Duke in deep trouble now, down by 9. Carolina to work on the clock.
So that smile on Carter's face, knowing they're in great shape right now. Trying to take some time off the clock, put it in the hands of their great free throw shooters. There's that motion game, pass and go away. That's their action. Watch, when they pass, they go away from the ball. What a great pass.
Jamison to Carter for the bucket and the foul.
What a great look by Ed Cota, who broke a school record today for most assists in the history of the school. That's only his 3rd today, but he needed 2 to break the record of Kenny Smith.
And everyone wearing light blue in the stands is up and on their feet.
As Eddie Cota dropping it down, and they're going to finish it off. Carter is.
The lead is 11. Carter can make it 12 and does. Duke needs buckets in a hurry. Langdon for 3. Look at Wojciechowski. Somehow he got it.
Nobody back.
Jamison.
Nobody back. Up and away. The Skywalker. Hello. This place, playing them in Greensboro, will be unbelievable.
Antoine Jamison, 20 points, 17 rebounds. He has been brilliant.
All I simply can say to anybody that's got to beat him here in Greensboro, baby, lots of luck. Get some reservations and get ready for the Alamo Dome for Tar Heel fans. I can tell you that.
This would be the 15th ACC Tournament Championship for North Carolina. North Carolina State had 10. Duke was going for its 10th today, but it has slipped away from the Blue Devils, the #1 team in the country.
Well, the loser here most likely will go out to the south, and that means playing in the Tropicana field, a beautiful facility out in St. Petersburg. Would expect to have 40,000 fans.
Langdon, the best free throw shooter in the ACC, knocks this one down. The Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship coming up after we're done here.
Hasn't been able to get to the line, Langdon, today. That was a big sequence when Brand missed the offensive rebound and Langdon made that curl move inside.
That was huge.
That was huge. It was 51-50, I believe, at that time. He's going to manage the clock right now, play with a good basketball IQ. I don't think there's any doubt who's the MVP of the ACC tournament. I think it's number 33, hands down.
I got to vote for Antoine Jamison.
Mr. Carter right there inside. Doing it all now, executing big-time style.
McLeod down the lane, fouled by Jamison on the rebound. Carter, after a slow start, has come on with 16 points. Now, Dick, if they do switch the seeds here, if they send Duke to the south and North Carolina stays in the east, that would still set them up, if they can survive the rest of the tournament, of course, to meet for the national championship.
And that would be beautiful to see, because we know Duke is a much better team, and this game was a lot tougher than what the final score is going to indicate here today. Let's try to chant the Cargill fans, overrated. Overrated. Forget about that. Look at us here. First time 2 seeds. You know what else is being established? As you look here, 2 seeds, 1 conference. North Carolina will become, right now, out of all the teams since 1985 with the most #1 seeds. It will be their 6th time at #1 since '85.
This will be their 30th victory of the year under rookie head coach Bill Guthrie.
What a great first year. What a diaper-dandy year for Mr. Guthrie. Has 6 players back.
Jamison.
So easy. Just unbelievable execution. There'll be party time in Franklin Street tonight, baby.
22 and 18 for Jamison. McLeod has been a warrior all day, missed that shot. And we're under 35.
I thought one of the real problems for Duke today was their defense could not get them scores. North Carolina really asserting. You know what's great too, Mike? You haven't seen the players doing any talking like yesterday. Just basically playing basketball, doing what they do best. And that jersey has so much tradition.
2 schools separated by 8 miles, 2 shades of blue, and today 15 points. North Carolina is your ACC champion.